Xbox Series S. Let me show you what's going on. As you can see, we have an HDMI port that's been a little bit crunched up. This video is brought to you by PCB Way. PCB Way is holding its 5th PCB design contest. This is your timeline. These are your themes, next generation hardware, earth-friendly project, and free themes. The prize packages are off the hook. You can get a Pi Pico just for participating. Go enter your design and see how you do. We have the board out of the housing and we're preparing to remove the HDMI port. While I am setting up my equipment, let me throw up the temperatures we are expecting to use for this job. As always, these temperatures are subject to change if the job changes. And as always, these temperatures are brought to you by the Amazon Associate, links in the description. If you click on any of those links and buy any of that equipment, or if you purchase anything during that session, a small portion of that purchase or total purchase will go to supporting the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. It will not cost you an extra dime. Flood our anchors with some flux, and we'll flood our anchors. We'll flood our pins. The advantage of putting low melt on the pins is that you're very unlikely to pull pads if the pins are low melted. Even if you just low melt the pins, I recommend doing that. We are ready to pull. Now these will be a little bit easier than the Series X because there's not a plastic, high temperature plastic glue holding the port on, but they're still a little bit of a challenge. They still have hidden anchor points, so you do have to be careful. They're basically the same port minus the plastic glue. Focus in on these pins, get them good and wetted, and then we'll get the anchor points going. Just gotta be patient with these things. Starting to get some loose, and there we go. Next step is to clean. We need to clean off the hidden anchors, we need to clean off the through-hole anchors and the pad. Now, gently, we just want to glide over these pads. I tend to go with the pads just for safety. You're not scrubbing with wick, you're just gliding. Let's tin up our pads. We also need to tin up these hidden anchors. For this, we will switch to our WX micro pencil with the bent chisel. And these are ground planes, so you have to rub it in a little bit. If you just go back and forth on them, they will take solder. Just got to bring up the temperature enough to take it. We need a more strategically placed ball of solder on our tip, and we're just going to go over with the ball of solder over the pads. Ideally not making much contact with the iron here, just mostly with the ball of solder. We'll put a generous amount of flux on the pins, begin our paint job. Not too worried about bridging here. I can clean it up. I'd rather chase bridges any day this way than do it while it's on the board. Place the port. We will do this port very similar fashion as we do the Nintendo Switch. What we're trying to do is bring up the temperature of the board rather than solder with direct heat. If you just solder with direct heat, you're probably going to melt plastic. So what I want to do is bring up the temperature of the board enough to wet the solder and let the board do the work here. So we will move the air nozzle rapidly. I am not fast forwarding here. This is the actual speed in which I am moving the nozzle. This will ensure that we do not burn plastic if the heat is never in one place long enough to do that, but the board will accumulate the heat necessary. And this requires some patience. Starting to see some wetting. Back off a little bit, and then we'll start concentrating a little bit on the hidden anchors. This whole time the board has been warming up, so it shouldn't take too long for the hidden anchors. Press down. Alright. Remove the heat and keep holding the port down while I wait for signs that the pins have dried. I'm going to hold it down a little bit longer because the anchor points are under quite a bit more heat retaining material. We're going to do a little bit of a nudge test, very gentle. I just want to see if we have any play in the port. If we have any play in the port, that means we're just soldered down by the pins and we need to adjust these hidden anchors, but this feels very solid. See how we did. Excellent. Nice fillets underneath the pins. which is what you want. For this, we'll be switching back to our WX120 with the large chisel. I'll put a generous amount in there. We need to feed through to the other side. And if you can see solder from the other side, you have done well. And we do. Excellent. The next step is to clean the board off, and I'll do that off camera so I can use my air compressor, and then we'll come back for a final inspection and test. Okay, after cleaning, everything looks nice and pretty. So next thing we have to do is put it back in the housing and give it a shot. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see how we did. And we're getting a power up. See if we get a picture. And we do. And as you can see, we are back up and running. And if you like this video, do me a favor, check out this one. And I'll see you there.